There we are. Hello, everyone coming in. So I figured out a way to make it so I can actually see the chat. The lights still bother my eyes though and make it harder for me to read them, but I got to have some kind of light. I'd like to set up something else, maybe. But at any rate, I just made everything bigger and my chat is bigger. Yay. So I should have an easier time reading it. But I'm going to go ahead and do my greeting now because sometimes I forget it if I wait too late. So, hello everyone. Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. So, we're going to be starting, well, not starting, but we will be starting. But today is the regular question and answer live show. So if you're kind of new to my live feeds and all that, I usually get into the actual topics about 20 minutes in after getting the live show up and going. So if you're watching this in replay and you don't want the preliminary chat stuff, you can just move your status bar in about 20 minutes. No guarantee I'll start exactly at that time because sometimes certain questions and stuff that come in even before I get into the topic can take a little longer than I planned. But I do try. I try really hard to be on time to try to stick to a schedule because that is important to me. So anyway, here's something I was going to say right off the bat. What was it? I wrote it down. Let's see what I got here. Or I didn't write it down. Well, I do have a couple other topics I wanted to talk about, but these might take a while. So I was thinking about waiting until after I get through all the main questions and answers. But if you have any questions right off the bat, feel free to ask them now. If I miss them, then I will get to them on the next Q&A because sometimes it just happens. I'm trying to explain things and people are asking questions and I try to keep up on them and sometimes I miss some. I know Tammy had a question that she asked in the last one that I missed and I'm sorry. I realized as I was scrolling through there and I'm like, the only one I missed it looks like was Tammy's. Tammy, the one I'm always giving a hard time to. So I don't want her to think I was intentionally ignoring her question because I'm always giving her a hard time. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I'll admit that things, you did. At least I think it was you, Tammy. I do have a couple other Tammys, but I thought it was you, the one I'm always giving a hard time to. What was I going to say? My schedule, it's amazing how things have just been kind of starting to smooth out a little more and a little more. Well, I don't have to, well, I shouldn't say have to, but I used to watch Rowan and Jackson on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I'd have all three grandbabies on those 2 days. But now that Kayla's quit her job and she's just doing full-time, stay-at-home mom plus her baking business, I only watch them on Tuesdays. So that gives her a day that she can focus on the things that she needs to get done. It's easier to get done when the babies are not there. So, is there any problem with dehydrating blackberries, powdering them, and making syrup later on? I don't know. I mean, I know they're easy to dehydrate and powder, but I would assume they would work just fine. But they're powdered. So, well, yeah, because it shouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't think so. I haven't tried it, so I can't say for certain. But anyway, my schedule has just been so much, it's getting calmer all the time. Things have kind of starting to balance out. And Jace, since dad has Mondays off, Jace is usually with dad on Mondays and on Wednesdays. So typically now I have Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays most of the time, not all the time, where I'm not watching any babies at all. There's still sometimes I am, but most of the time no. So now I have 3 free days of the week. That gives me more time to get my video editing done and then just to breathe and get back into doing some things that I haven't been able to do as much. Like, I used to make bread, every week I'd make bread, but things got so crazy and busy. And you know how even if you do have time, sometimes you forget the things that you normally would have planned for certain days of the week. But now I'm able to get back into making bread, not just once a week, but I can do it twice a week now easily enough. And not that I can't do it with at least one grandbaby here, because Fridays is I have Jace, but I can make bread with just him here. There's things I can do when it's just one, but when it's three, it's a little chaotic. But yes, things have been balancing out, and then still having my Saturdays completely to do. I don't have to do anything on Saturdays. Friday afternoon through Saturday, everything's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on, and that was one of the things. Actually, I think that was the thing I was going to talk about quickly. I've mentioned it a few times, but I keep learning more. And here's what's funny. I'm going to try to keep this short as possible. So YouTube, when you're a content creator, YouTube will make videos just for you as a content creator to answer questions, to give you ideas and, let you know of changes coming about. And so one of the recent videos they had, is that picture getting glitchy? I feel like it's kind of jumpy. If the picture and sound are acting weird, please let me know. I'm assuming everything's okay. Let me check my mic here. See how that looks. Looks like that's good there. So anyway, coming back to this, it might just be on my end. Okay, good. Thank you. So the more recent one was about the algorithms and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I hardly listened to a single word these two guys said because it was all a bunch of nonsense. It was all worth it. If you want to boil it down to what I picked up on is they're telling their content creators in as nice a way as possible, stop whining and work harder. And totally, so where the main reason I went into this video was I wanted to see what other content creators were saying in comments. And every comment was the same over and over again. It didn't matter the size of the channel. It didn't matter the type of content they put out. Didn't matter. Everybody's having the same issue where YouTube is not promoting their videos to their own subscribers. This is why we're all losing so many views, because our own subscribers, only a small portion of them are actually seeing our videos. And it's been going on for about a year. And, at first I was thinking, okay, is it me? Is it because of that baby food video that they took down and claimed that I said stuff that I did not say? It was a false claim. What is it? And I don't think it was any of that stuff. That stuff probably didn't help, but it's in all the way across the board. It's not just homesteading channels. It's not just faith-based channels. It's not just conspiracy theory channels. It's not just channels that are opposite of conspiracy theories, or it does not matter. It does not matter. Everybody's having the same problem because YouTube decided to change things, the way their algorithms work, and they don't want to come out and admit that they screwed up. They just need to fix the problem. So I made a comment and I was snarky. And I just said blah, blah, blah. And then I went on to say, the truth of what's happening to people is in the comments. Read the comments. So I'm hoping that maybe these guys that want to just keep talking like us content creators are just a bunch of whiners and we need to work harder. We have been working harder, for crying out loud. You guys are just so focused on your money, talking to YouTube, that you're not actually taking the content creator and their subscribers and what their subscribers really want to see into account. So, and I saw it on both sides. Subscribers complain, people who are just um, like viewers complaining that they're tired of seeing what YouTube thinks they want to watch. They want to see in their feed the channels they have subscribed to, not a bunch of nonsense. And then on the other side, the content creator saying, we want our subscribers to see our content. That's all we're asking. It's so dumb. Anyway, who knows? Maybe I'll even get in trouble for that, for being snarky to, under that video, because I was just like, blah, blah, blah. You guys just blah, blah, blah. But nobody wants to be honest about what's really happening. And that irritates me. Maybe they really think they're doing the right thing, but they need to listen to people. They need to listen to the people that are giving them the views that pays them the money, because they wouldn't get all the advertiser dollars if people just quit watching videos altogether. But then again, of course, the content creators wouldn't either. But that's the thing, is we're all losing out, except for those few weird things that they want to push out to people because they've decided that's what's trending and everybody should be watching the trending stuff. Well, guess what? Not all of us feel like keeping up with the Joneses and what everybody else thinks is cool and trendy. In fact, a lot of people that watch my kind of content don't care about that nonsense. So anyway, I'm constantly clearing my watch history because shorts just automatically start playing when I hover over them. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, there's my rant for the day. I may go on another one later, but we will see. Some people like my rants, and sometimes I like to rant. It's kind of fun. And I feel more free to do that in my lives. So I actually still have a few more minutes. Before I get into the actual questions that I'm going to cover, such as the chocolate and the cheese. Yeah, I didn't mean, they both start with CH, and that's fine with me. Chocolate and cheese are some pretty yummy things. And then there's also coffee that starts with a C. I hadn't really planned on talking about coffee, but while I'm at it, today I made the espresso blend by Shepherd's Crook, and it's pretty yummy. And the thing is you don't have to, if you don't like super, super strong coffee, you don't have to make it super strong, but you can still get this wonderful, wonderful aroma and flavor. I love it so much that I just don't want to ever drink any other brand of coffee. I like their coffee so much. I'm feeling a bit spoiled, but they're good people too. And I really like that not only do they put out excellent coffee, that they're really good people, small US based business, believers and all that. Love it. So we get it. Rant on. Oh, let's see. Now automatically starts playing. Deborah, and then some of the ads, like the gaming ads I keep seeing, they're so creepy. And I mean, okay, gaming ads, whatever. I'm not a gamer. I don't care about that nonsense, but the ads wouldn't bother me as much if they weren't so doggone creepy. They're weird. I'm sure you guys know which ones I'm talking about. They're like, I'm just like, that just looks wicked. I didn't want to have to see that nonsense. Everyone deserves a bit of pampering sometimes. Thank you, Linda. I decided to pay for no ads because the ads were so disgusting. It's like part of me just wants to refuse to pay YouTube anything more because they already take a third of my income as it is. But anyway, yeah. First, I don't know why. Why do I keep getting targeted with all these dumb gaming ads when I'm not interested in it? I'm not a gamer, or for other things that I am absolutely not interested in. aren't these ads supposed to be targeted more for either A, number 1, the viewer themselves and their interests, and then B, the content that they're actually watching at that time, which though it irritates me, I get pharmaceutical ads on my videos that are more about natural remedies. It's kind of understandable because we're talking about healing and remedies and, and that's all that big pharma knows. So that's at least somewhat understandable. Irritating, but at least a little bit understandable. Sort of goes with the content, in context, but some of this other stuff is like, what on earth? Let's see, an ad on another page was a woman sitting on a toilet cussing. Are you serious? Selling toilet paper. Oh my gosh. Really? It, and the sad thing is that as a content creator, we only have a small amount of control over the types of ads. Like I have entertainment ads blocked because sometimes but why am I getting I don't know if my content shows gaming ads. I just know that I see them when I'm watching somebody else's stuff. Um, but the reason I started blocking the entertainment ones, was some of the ads for movies they were so racy. I'm like, how can they allow that? The movie previews were not even PG. They were rated R. And so I started blocking entertainment ads and gambling ads. I have something else blocked. I can't remember what it is. I might have to go in there. I haven't done it in years. I might have to go in there and see what else, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of times we have no idea what they're going to show, but I mean, cussing, things that are I mean, of course then again, people can cuss their bloomin' heads off on their YouTube videos and not get demonetized for that. I mean, I'm not against people having their own platform to talk how they want, but it's funny how that's okay, but there are certain other things you're not allowed to talk about that are not near as well, or that are not harmful. I don't know. It's getting worse all the time. And so it just sometimes you wonder how long are we going to be able to even do anything on here? What kind of control does a content creator have on number of ads and ad placement? We actually have quite a bit of control over that to a degree. So I try to make it so that none of my videos have ads only have ads at the beginning. Now, I could probably make more money if I put ads all the way through, and it's probably why you're seeing more content creators putting ads all the way through, because the revenue is being cut down to one half to 70 to one third or to one quarter of what they once made. So they're trying to make up the difference. But to me, I don't think it makes up the difference because people get so fed up. There's like, man, all this person cares about is money. All they got ads all through their video. I don't want to watch. And I don't like constantly being interrupted with ads. It's irritating. So the problem, like with the lives, I'm hoping I might have found a way to fix it. But I found that you can't not have your lives monetized, which I'd need them monetized anyway if I want to make something for the time I put into this. But you can't like keep mid-roll ads from showing up but I found that if I select insert ads manually, I can prevent them from showing up while I'm live. But once the video processes, which can take anywhere from 15 minutes to 15 hours, then all of a sudden the mid-roll ads will start going in there. And I have to remember to go back and deselect that because I can't even change that until after the video is done being live and then they've processed everything. And I don't know why the difference in time. It doesn't matter how short or long the show is. That's just the way it is. And then I can deselect it. But I found another place that in my settings that I'm hoping will fix that so that won't even happen once it processes. So I have no mid-roll ads. And a content creator can even control how often ads show up mid-roll. So we do have that kind of control. We just don't have control over the types of ads that go onto our content. So it's not the it didn't used to be quite the way it is now with the ad thing, especially with the lives. They didn't automatically have mid-roll ads in them. It didn't used to be that way. And now so it was kind of weird, because I was doing those like 7 years ago. And then coming back to it this year, I'm like, man, this is all different. It's all different. Okay. So anyway, it's time. So I'm not gonna try to get onto another subject or I'll, and then somebody's gonna be irritated when they come into the replay saying, "Hey, it took you longer. You didn't start on this stuff until 32 minutes in." It's like, well, it's a live show, people. Come on. So anyway, let me start off with the first question. I can't remember which one I put first. I think I put first the chocolate. So right here I've got chocolate chips that I vacuum sealed in 2020. So these are organic chocolate chips. I've got a whole bunch of these. What was my question? Tammy, be patient. I'll get to it. Somebody was asking me, first of all, how long you can store your chocolate like this, vacuum sealed in jars for years and years. So this is already going on 5 years old. I don't know what time of the year it was since I didn't put a month on there, but I've had some even longer that were still good. Now, even vacuum sealed, your chocolate can still kind of lose some quality, and it won't have that quite the same flavor or texture over time, but it's still good. It doesn't spoil. And I've used chocolate. Did I finally work through the stuff I put up in 2014? And it was still good. It was still definitely good enough to use in cookies and things like that. Didn't taste quite as good side by side as some fresh chocolate chips, but they were still good. They were definitely still edible. And in cookies, for certain, because it's going to melt a little bit. Now, so somebody had said, I read somewhere that or heard somewhere that you can only store chocolate vacuum sealed in jars for 2 years. I'm like, oh, you can do it longer than that. I mean, I can even tell by the color of this. I don't know if you can tell because the lighting's sort of weird that these don't even have any of that kind of whitish look to them at all. Yeah, I don't think the lighting's going to be very fair to show you. If I hold it up, maybe you can see it better. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit. But yeah, these are going on 5 years old. Definitely longer than 2 years. And it should last forever, really. It's just you're going to lose quality like with anything else over time. There's a lot of stuff, canned goods, dehydrated goods, freeze-dried goods. They're going to lose some quality over time. But now let me go on to the homemade chocolates. That's a little bit different because you're not adding stabilizers and whatnot. I find with my homemade chocolate, it's best to refrigerate it because it tends to melt a lot easier because it doesn't have stabilizers in it. So I only make the chocolate, and then I keep it in the fridge until we're done working through it. And I don't make Mr. Rain. Mr. Rain, do you want me to make you some cookies? Not sure I've ever had them. Somebody needs a skillet. Where's my mods besides Mr. Rain? We need another mod. Anyway, so yeah, the homemade chocolate, which I did link to the video I did on the homemade, actually not the video I did, the whole playlist. Because since I first started my channel back in 2016, I put out a very simple homemade chocolate video. It's just, and all that one entails is cocoa butter, cocoa powder, or cacao butter, cacao powder. The only difference in the name, cacao means it's raw. That's all it means. And raisins for sweetness. I didn't have to add honey or sugar. Oh, Mr. Rain now has 2 wrenches. Huh. Anyway, so yeah, I have quite a few videos out there. So I linked to the full playlist of all my different recipes I've created over the years. So the ones I tend to make the most are the peanut butter chocolate, and the peppermint patty chocolate. But sometimes I will just make just a chocolate with raisins for sweetness and add no sugar, no honey. Honey's great in the chocolate, but the problem with honey is that it does start to separate, and it will it's still good, but you'll end up with maybe a gooey layer of honey at the bottom of your pan or your little silicone molds or whatever it is you use for your chocolate. But I usually take the easy way out when I do the chocolate and just use a pie pan and butter it and then make my chocolate in that and then just chill it and then chop it up. But you can use like little cute silicone molds and or the little silicone muffin liners. Those work really good for your chocolate and those make it look a little more like a peanut butter cup or something like that. And those work good for that too. It's just more time consuming. So, I might do that if I really want it to look cute, but most of the time I don't bother with that. Just a pie pan and butter it, and that's it. Just a glass pie pan. Shared your chocolate playlist last week. Thank you, Sea Monkey. So, okay. The next one that I was going to cover was the cheese one. What exactly was a question? Somebody had asked me if I have a video on making homemade cheese. I do. I have a couple actually. So I've linked to both of them in the description box. One is a remake of one I did quite a number of years ago, where I remastered it and added more stuff to it, brightened the picture, sound, et cetera, et cetera. But making cheese from whether it be raw milk or in that video I was using raw milk. Oh, I probably can't say that. I know Zach can never say it. He never can get away with it. But you can also use, store bought what pasteurized milk. There's the word I'm looking for. I was trying to say processed milk. It doesn't matter. You can use either to make cheese. It's super easy. You can just do that with some vinegar. That's all you need. A little salt. And then you can add whatever herbs and spices for your flavoring once you get it mostly strained out, like I show in that one video that I have linked to down below. Hi, Deb. You made it. Good. Good to see ya. I was hoping everything was okay and you didn't have another bug knocking you out again. Tammy says she's Mr. Rain's witness. Witness to what? What did you do, Patrick? You guys. Anyway, so then the other cheese making video is for the sake of those people who can't have dairy. And I think I talked about this maybe even last week about how you can just take your own, like if you're making your own nut milks, the best one to use for cheese making is my personal favorite is pecan and cashew, or you could do cashew with any other nut. I just recommend mixing it with another nut. It makes it easier to strain out, but usually it's a 50-50. My favorite is pecan cashew. And then so you make your nut milk and then you strain it out and then you take the pulp and all you do is just add a little salt and some like nutritional yeast to get that more cheesy flavor to it. It's super, super simple. And it's actually quite good. So if you have to be dairy free, I mean, I love cheese. So to me, when I was a vegan for a period of time, it was at least 8 months. I was finding ways to make cheese and stuff because cheese is important to me. I love cheese. But anyway, I was mostly just trying it to see how it make me feel. And, just like anything else, if it's something you're doing, like I was talking in the video on Sunday, the live where I was talking about fasting, you can feel good initially on diets like that because your body's it gives your body a chance to detox from stuff and kind of help you narrow down different ailments that, maybe underlying issues to things that you're having. It just sort of cleanses the body. But for most people, those kind of diets are not good long term. So initially you can feel good and then after a while, you start having dizzy spells, you start passing out, your hair starts falling out, you start having rashes, whatever. I mean, it's going to be different for each person, but some things tend to be the same all the way across the board. I don't, Mary, I don't know that you can order something like that online. I know it's kind of hard for us to get it real locally. We can get it in Squim, which is about 75 miles away. There's a creamery in there that sells it, and I probably should, you know, make it a habit more often to get in there and get some. If you go in there and buy it directly and buy like 10 gallons at a time and you can just freeze it, it they give you a better deal on it. But they have both goat and cow milk in that form, in the raw form. So but I haven't had it in a long, long time. Okay, so I think that was that. Let me go ahead and get to Tammy's question that she doesn't remember. Assuming it was Tammy Hill and not Tammy, it might have been Tammy House. There's another Tammy whose last name starts with an H. So maybe it was her, or maybe I'm forgetting. But they were asking, this is one of those topics I have to be very, very careful about how I word it. They were asking if they could take copper wires or other types of precious metal and twist them together to make thicker bars, basically, for making certain precious metal liquids. Yes, you can do that. What it's all about really is the surface area. The more surface area, in fact, it'd be better if it was kind of, instead of having it be round, it'd be better if you could flatten it out as much as possible. So you got more surface area. The more surface area you have, the better it's going to work. So that's really, yeah, it was you. I thought so. I thought it was you. So, and by the way, can anybody see my little lights? I can kind of see them in my fake flower arrangements here. I got some little fairy lights, little battery operated one. I can only see like 2 in this one, but there's more than that in there. And then I put some more string lights in my garland back here. That is perpetually on the counter there, just to add a little something to make it look nice, to make it look cozy and all that. Yeah. Yeah. So any kind of copper, like you can get like a gauge. I think ours is 6 gauge. I think the smaller the number, the fatter the gauge is. So the bigger it is. Sometimes people get it backwards. So if you go to 14 gauge, you're looking at more like a wire, where if you're going 6 gauge, you're looking something that's more like a bar or a rod. So anyway, okay. Next one, this one I don't recall anybody asking in the live, but the sugar question comes up quite a bit when it comes to making vinegar. People, wonder if you can do it without sugar. And so the common question that people will then ask, because they're so worried, they're so scared to death of sugar of any kind, that they want to know if they can make vinegar without sugar. Well, the answer is no. You can't. You have to have some kind of sugar. There's healthy forms of sugar you can use. I don't recommend using coconut sugar because it has too many minerals in it. It may or may not work. But the higher the mineral content when you're using sugars for fermenting, the less chance your ferment's going to do really well. I mean, the minerals are good, but too much can actually slow or prevent a ferment, because some of your certain minerals are naturally antibiotic, antibacterial, right? So, and that can even include the healthy bacteria that you need for fermenting. So, this is why I use organic cane sugar, because it's cheaper than honey. Honey is a great one to use for fermenting and making vinegar and wines, but organic cane sugar is cheaper. So I save my raw honey for other things. So then the next question that comes with that was, well, can I use stevia? No, you can't use stevia. You can't use monk fruit extract, because neither one of those are true sugars. They're just things that taste sweet. Okay. They might be natural, but they just taste sweet. So those are something people will use who are trying to get away from sugar but want sweetness in their baked goods, in their homemade chocolate, or whatever it is. But for making vinegar, no, it's not going to work because it needs the carbs that cannot be found in your non-nutritive sweeteners such as the monk fruit extract or the stevia or other such, anything else like that. So all you're going to be doing by adding that to your vinegars is making a sweet vinegar because it's not going to take the sweetness away. If you want a sweet vinegar, I suppose that's fine, but you may not want your vinegar to taste sweet. So that's the other